Hello, everyone. This is George Sandmann. I'm the founder and CEO of Growth Drive, and this is our core concept series about the methodology and process for growing private business profits and value. And this is episode 2 of 6 in the core concept series. We're going to talk about strategic intent. Intent, very powerful concept. So, what we want to do at the beginning of an engagement is qualify our client's commitment, right? Are they willing to take action? And we, in the C3D certification, we spend a lot of time talking about the growth conversation, training you how to lead the growth conversation. And I won't get into that, but it's a very powerful way. If you start each engagement with this type of conversation, you are going to create very happy clients, and you are going to prosper. So what we want to do is differentiate between goals, right? Oh, it's my goal, and our intent. That's great. That's your goal. Do you intend to get there? I want to run a marathon. Oh, yeah? What are you going to do to get there? It helps you to begin by understanding why CEOs take action. Now, I was fortunate enough to run a software company for about a decade, and that software was used by well over 1,000 of your colleagues to deliver over 50,000 CEO interviews. And what did we learn? What did we learn? You know, these CEOs had 6 choices. They ignored 3 of them. They only ever clicked the other 3. And they clicked 62% of the times. They said, well, I'm at the table because I want to grow. 21% of the time, they said, I want operational freedom. I want this thing to be easier to run. I'd like to work only 40 hours a week. 17% of the time, they said, you know what? I'm preparing this business for sale. Only to find out 83% of the time that the business did not have sufficient value to fund their personal goals. Okay. Now, if we have that information, if we understand that these are their, air quotes, goals, and then we want to qualify them by saying, yeah, that's great, but do you intend to get there? Those 3, grow, make easier, sell, inform, that is what caused me to describe our foundational methodology. And our foundational methodology is how we make strategic capacity actionable in line with our clients' intention. And the 3 dimensions of business growth are predictable profits and cash flow, predictable revenue growth, and predictable equity value. We're going to cover that in another episode. But it's the intent that matters. And there's a fantastic book out there by General Jim Mattis called Call Sign Chaos. And in Call Sign Chaos, General Mattis, if you don't know who he is, check him out. He's a complete badass. General Mattis, and a fine gentleman to boot. General Mattis really focuses in on commander's intent. And the commander's intent leverages really well into running a successful business. Now, you have to ask yourself, George is talking about intent. What's he talking about? Does intent work? Isn't goals good enough? No, because if you state a goal, it's one thing. But if you carefully craft a statement of intent, that intent is the starting point, okay? And when you spend time very carefully defining your intent, your vision, see how I made that leap? It is what drives us to understand our mission, how we will accomplish it. Our statement of intent must be achievable, clearly understood, right? So distributed, transparent, and it has to deliver what the business was tasked with achieving. Okay, read that a couple of times, and you can get this deck. You can get this deck from Growth Drive if you need it. GrowthDrive.com. Does intent work? Well, we have an intent worksheet, okay, the Growth Drive Strategy Planner. And we're going to run through a couple of levels. We're going to start with the growth conversation with personal intent. Where does this business need to take you? And do you intend to get there? Now, all the while you're listening to whether this person has, the budget is important, okay, but not all the money in the world is going to help if you're the leadership, not just the senior leader, but the entire senior leadership team. But if your client sitting across the table, the CEO, the largest shareholder, the business owner, doesn't have the intent to make it happen, do they have a can-do, will-do attitude? Once they understand where they want the business to go, now let me play that up. Listen, Jane, I want this business has got to get to $20 million of annual revenues. That's great. And if you were not among the initiated, right, you might say 20 million, can do, boss. Let's get going. Well, why 20 million? Well, because 20 million, we have, we make 10 points of margin. At the 10 points of margin, I'm going to have 2 million. I get a 6x multiple at the deal table. That's 12 million, and I need 12 million to retire. Now, those of you who are the initiated know how many problems there are with that statement. But how do we make sure that 20 million is the right place to go? And all the while we're having this conversation, we're making sure that the person has the can-do, will-do attitude to see this through over the long term. None of this is easy, right? There's no easy button. It's very intelligible. The growth drive system makes this actionable. We have the steps. We can put the tools in your hands, but none of it matters at all. If I've run a marathon, I've done a bunch of long distance stuff. If you don't have the grit, the determination to get it done, I would say the determination is actually at least as important, maybe more so, than the physical training. So personal intent. Then we can layer in the professional intent. Where does the business need to play in this story? And we can start describing a mission, strategy, 3-year goals, 1-year goals, and the implications, importantly, the implications of not getting it done. Well, if we don't get you to 20 million, what happens? Nothing good. So this is also available from Growth Drive, and it's embedded. Okay, here's a teaser. It is embedded in our 90.io. And now the next question is, how will we make intent actionable? So grab your phone, check out this QR code. If you want to learn more, hit us up, growth-drive.com, growthdrive.com. You can just Google Growth Drive. You'll find us very easily. On to the next episode. Thank you.